All right, we are recording. Okay, I'm Jacqui Duran. For anybody who doesn't know me, I am a star director with Scentsy. I joined in January of 2012. I joined for no other reason except I really liked Scentsy. I had just been introduced to it. My very first bar and my very first warmer that I got, the warmer was the Jane warmer. I still have it. I absolutely love it. In fact, I should. It's been in storage for a while. I'm thinking I might pull it back out, put it in my office. And the very first bar that I bought, I say that this is the reason that I joined Scentsy, and it was Echo. And now with Scentsy Club, I get it in my Scentsy Club. And I will never be without this bar ever, ever, ever again. But that is truly the reason I joined, because I absolutely loved it. And I found that it was something that my husband also liked too. And that was a big thing because I don't know about you guys, but when you're looking for candles and things like that and scents, my husband is not a big scent guy. So it was a really big thing for me to be able to find something that he enjoyed and I enjoyed too. So I started off very slow. I did not start off like with big dreams or a big why, or I'm going to do this full time someday and I want to be a superstar director. I just honestly was just kind of doing my thing. And it wasn't until about my first or second year in that I'd been through some stuff and gone through a lot of different changes and ups and downs. And I was kind of at a place to where it was like, okay, I either need to be in or I need to be out. And I remember I had a discussion with Tracy and kind of telling her, why I thought I should maybe go ahead and throw in the towel, but why I really like Scentsy. And I remember her telling me that honestly, this was kind of up to me and that I really had potential to do a lot of things. And that always stuck with me because I know, at least in my job, I had never been told that, for one, I was doing a good job or was doing great or was had potential or anything. And so it was a really big thing for somebody to actually believe in me and have that faith in me. And I thought, okay, well, if she thinks that it might be there, then maybe it is there. So I jumped in with both feet and I sucked at home parties. That was back. Remember when we could have home parties? Um, I didn't do home parties simply because my customer base, they just were not, they didn't have time. I could never get them booked. And when I did have them, they just never really were amazing. I mean, they were good parties. They were always fun, but nothing to write home about. Um, and so I really had to look for what worked for me. And for me and my schedule, my husband worked overnight. I worked during the day, and we had our youngest, who was going to be 11 at Christmas, but she was very young, and we didn't want to have to do daycare and everything else. And so, plus, it was really expensive. And I thought, well, if I'm going to make this business work, how can I do this and still be able to be at home? And I found social media. I hopped on YouTube. I started doing YouTube videos. I started really getting training myself, teaching myself. Literally, I've taught myself everything when it comes to social media, but teaching myself how to do Instagram and how to do Facebook parties and how to do YouTube videos. My YouTube channel is great. I have almost 8,000 subscribers now. And I mean, it blows my mind because I just remember where I started and how I started in like a really poorly lit room. And like, I didn't have fancy equipment. I didn't have an office. It wasn't anything special. And it really was just something that worked for me and was a really great way for me to connect with others. Um, and so I knew that was kind of where I fit in. That was me. And that was what brought me joy. And I just kept pouring into it and pouring into it. And my whole concept was I wanted to be like Tracy was to me. I wanted to be able to bring people with me on the journey. And so as I started building my business, what is now my business anyway, when I started really building it, I really had to dig deep and stay true to the culture that I wanted in my team. And that was a big thing because, like I said, that first 1 or 2 years as a consultant, there was a lot of negativity, there was a lot of drama, there was a lot of comparison, there was a lot of just stuff. And it's so easy to get kind of sucked into that. And if you find that you're getting sucked into that, then you really got to wake yourself up, because once I stopped feeding into that and started surrounding myself with people who were thinking like me, who were goal driven, who would clap when you had a great month or did something amazing, right? Those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. And that's the culture that you really want to cultivate for your team. Because let me tell you, I have done that with my team. And I talked to a lot of other directors and star directors and even superstar directors. And, there's a lot of times where they talk about how can I get my team motivated, or I got a lot of negativity happening, and it's so easy to have that soak into your team. So, one thing that I will tell you as a superstar consultant is that I really want you to think about the culture you want for your team. How do you want your team to feel? How do you want your team to operate? How do you want your team to work this business together? Because that's a big piece. Because when you get to superstar consultant, that's one level right under director, right? And for some, I've seen a lot of people who have gotten to superstar consultant and then just shot straight to director or above afterwards. I personally kind of stalled. Here I was, building my team and being so consistent. But I stalled at superstar consultant, and I was a superstar consultant for like 3 years. And I found that I got very comfortable in that role, which, as we all know by now, hopefully you guys know as superstar consultants, right? When you're comfortable, you're not growing. And so while I was still sponsoring new people, and my team members were sponsoring new people, I wasn't really intentionally building, because I still had that thought in the back of my head that I wasn't really good enough to be a director. I didn't have what it takes. I was working a full-time job in management at the hospital, and it was very draining. And so at the end of that day, the last thing I wanted to do was sit down at the computer. And so it took a lot for me to kind of put myself into the groove and get those good habits. Once I did that, oh my gosh, my team literally exploded. And it was in September of 2018, I believe it was, that I actually promoted to director. And I knew at that point I had to change my mindset. But the first thing that happened, the morning that I became director, like the morning after, right, that it happened, I remember just sitting there and looking at my workstation and going, now what do I do? Like, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And so I had to create that, right? I had to figure that out. And luckily I've got Tracy, and she's amazing. And she met up with me, and we sat down and we went over all the things, right? So my advice as a superstar consultant is to have that mindset of act as if you are a director. Titles come and go, right? Titles can come and go. At the end of the day, you are what you give to others. And I think that the more that you give to others, the more that you're going to get back in return. It's just a very symbiotic relationship with people, and especially the Scentsy family. Um, if you create that culture that people don't want to leave, right? That they know that they can count on you, that they know that if they have a question, they're not bothering you. If they're like, oh my gosh, I think it's such a silly question, I probably shouldn't bother her with this, right? You want people to be able to feel comfortable enough to come to you, but also confident enough in themselves, so building that confidence in your team members, that they can pursue and do this business whatever it looks like for them. I have a lot of people on my on my team and in my group is over 300 people now. And in my group, those people are from they have all different kinds of schedules, all different types of ways that they run their business. I have some that have, full-time jobs. I have some that have a couple part-time jobs. I've got some that have, younger children, older children, no children at all, fur babies, right? Everybody's life looks different. And creating that culture and really just building those relationships with your team and having an open communication with your team is really what is going to not only help your team move forward, but also help you as a leader to move forward. I think that leadership really has a mindset to it, not necessarily you have to do everything right. But if you have the right mindset, if you have the right mentality of, I want to help others, that there's room for all of us to succeed, then let me tell you, if you keep doing that and you keep working your business and you keep sponsoring and you keep pouring into your team, then the promotions are going to come. The promotion to director and to star director and to superstar director are going to come. And I know that because again, I was a superstar consultant for like 3 years. It is a big jump. I think it is one of the biggest jumps, honestly. If I'm trying to like picture the compensation plan in my mind, right? It really is like the biggest jump in numbers when you're looking from superstar consultant to director, right? You've got a big jump there. And so I think it is very intimidating because I know from my own experience how bad I wanted director, like how bad I wanted it. I could taste it, but the numbers weren't there. And it wasn't for lack of wanting or trying or hoping and praying and all the things, right? It was really knowing that I had to give more of myself. And that didn't necessarily mean time because hello, I was still working full time. Now I am retired and I do Scentsy full time, but I still had my full-time job and career and it was, 40, 50, sometimes 60 hours. And it wasn't necessarily me having to give more time. It was me giving more quality over quantity. And I think that's a big piece of it. And when you think of your business, there's like a triangle or I think Chloe Cox refers to it as like the three legs of success. I look at it like a triangle. And at the top of the triangle is PRV. And then you've got sponsoring and retention. Those are the three main things that your business should always be touching. Those 3 points should always have a big difference to you when it comes to how you are going to actually work your business. PRV, we have to put our own business first. We have to be able to have our own business kind of, I like to say, have my house clean, right? So I have to make sure that everything is set up for my business every single month. And that has to be first and foremost as a leader, because we can't pour from an empty cup. We can't help people with launch parties or how, if they've got questions about how to do a report or how do I figure out if somebody's promoting and all of these things. We can't help them if our house isn't in order. We have to clean our own house. And by cleaning our house and maintaining our house, that means we have to make sure that our PRV is there. So that's why I put the PRV at like the top point of my triangle. And then sponsoring needs to be a consistent thing. We never should be not sponsoring. I'm always having sponsoring conversations. And I know that we talk a lot about it in the groups and on the happy hours. And I think we even did on the monthly meeting. We've got the Earn a Kit. There's so many different ways, right, that we can get people to join if they're having issues with that full $99 kit. But the other big piece of our business that we absolutely have to focus on is retention or training, right, or coaching. I like to think of it more as retention simply because, again, it's like I have to fill the cups every single month, right? Every month the cups need to be filled. And Scentsy luckily does a really good thing for us, right? They are always giving us new things. They're always giving, right? We've got bricks, we've got our launch coming out on Monday. We have lots of things that give us the opportunity to work our business. And it can be overwhelming. And this is coming from, it's even overwhelming for me. And, I've been doing this since 2012, and you would think that it's, oh, it should be like old hat by now, but it's not, because Scentsy itself is completely growing and changing all the time, and of course for the better, and we have to move along with it. So that retention is a big piece, because if we're able to help our team members stay tuned into their own businesses and what is happening within Scentsy, then that's really helping us close the circle when it comes to retaining our team. Because again, remember, that's a big jump in that group wholesale volume, from 6,000 to 10,000 for director. And the only way that you're able to really bridge that gap is to make sure that your PRV is set, that you are continuing to sponsor and bring on new people, and you're also showing your team how to do that, so they're bringing on new people, and you are working on retention of the people that you do have. And so let's talk about that for just a second. So in retention, in training, coaching, whatever you want to call it, right? You have to be able to identify your leaders. You have to be able to know who those leaders are. And if you have a larger team, right? Like I've got, like I said, my group is over 300. My team is almost to 300. I'm getting there. But there's no way that I could sit down with over 300 people in my group and know what every single person's why is, right? That's it's just not possible. It's just not. As much as I would love to be able to do that, you just can't. But what we have to do is identify those leaders within our teams. And sometimes it takes a little bit of, I like to refer to it with my frontline that I talk to a lot, right? And I tell them it's the Tracy initiative, right? I'm believing in them. I'm letting them know I believe in you. And I'm going to make sure you've got all the tools that you need to succeed for whatever it is that you want this business to be for you. And for a lot of them, they can take that and run with it. And I'm very, very conscious of really reiterating to everyone that this business needs to be individualized and personalized to you. Again, everybody's life and schedule and commitments and everything else going on looks completely different. All of our businesses run differently. We all have our strengths. We all have those things that we need to work on. But if we're really just leaning into the things that really are going to help our business and make it run smoother, then those leaders teaching them how to do the same thing is really going to open up their eyes and the doors for them in building their own businesses. I know that I've got some really great team members who are very, very much on the same wavelength that I am of, this is the way. This is the way that you work this business. You do it by encouraging others and networking with other consultants and being consistent and showing up for your team. Because again, if you believe in them and you're giving them the tools that they need and showing them this is the way, then they're going to jump in with both feet, right? It's the same way when we talk about, selling Scentsy. I've always said, I don't have to sell Scentsy. I can turn on a warmer, I can pop in some wax in a big room, set out some order forms and some catalogs and maybe some testers, and literally walk away for 2 hours. And I guarantee you, when I come back into that room, the orders will be there. The Scentsy doesn't need me per se to be sold, but I have to be the one who helps it, right? Who sets it up. And so by being able to do that, again, it's really being able to identify your leaders and making sure that they have everything they need, that they don't have to be a whiz at everything. Do what works best for you. Do what you're comfortable in doing. Now, that's not to say stay comfortable, right? Because that's very easy to do, is to stay comfortable and not kind of push out of your comfort zone. But you don't always have to constantly be pushing out of that comfort zone. You got to find that comfort zone, and you really have to lean into it and dig into those strengths where your strengths lie, and then be able to say, okay, now I'm here. I feel comfortable. I feel confident. I know I've got somebody who's got my back. Now I'm going to push out a little bit, right? And so next month, I say, I tell Madison this every single night. All I want is for you tomorrow to be a little bit better tomorrow than you were today. Tell my team the same thing. I want you to be a little bit better next month than you were this month. You recruited one person this month. Let's shoot for 2 next month. You got 500 PRV this month. Let's shoot for 750 next month, right? You don't necessarily have to shoot for the moon, but if you continue moving forward and you continue that momentum, again, the promotion will come. It doesn't happen overnight, but we have to continually be feeding into our team members. And that's really where everything comes together as a superstar consultant going into director. Because it truly doesn't just take you having a great month, right? That happens with a lot of the other promotions within Scentsy. Certified consultant, right? A promotion to certified. If you had a really great month or had a really great event or something, you could very easily promote to certified all in the same month, like a week after you joined, maybe, you know? I've seen it go very, very fast. To lead, you can have one team member and they can have a really great month and you can have a really great month. And oh my gosh, now I've promoted to lead. I didn't even realize I promoted to lead, right? All of those things can happen so quickly just by you doing the majority of the work. But when you get to superstar consultant to director, to bridge that gap, we need our team members doing the same things. And that's where, if you are working with your team intentionally, you're going to be able to fill that gap and you're going to be able to get to director. My business completely changed when I started doing coaching calls. I will sometimes call them like success sessions with some of my frontline that have been with me for a while, right? Like I try not to use the same term over and over for them because they're just like, oh, coaching call. Okay. So I like to give it a little spin, right? So have it be fun. But coaching isn't necessarily about telling them what to do or how to do it or what have you, right? Coaching is really about listening to your team members. Because what I tell mine, I have them actually, I have Google Forms set up, right? And I have them fill out a Google form if they want to do a coaching call with me. I've got a very large frontline. I have, I think, 80 some frontline at this point. I can't, again, just like with my group and my team, right? There's no way I could do every single frontline every single month and have a coaching call with them. We have to be able to scale things too, right? So we have to have that acting as if mindset, right? It's great to be able to have, like, I would talk to directors when I had first promoted, like, how are you doing it? What are you doing for your team? How are you setting things up, right? I wanted to put all the pieces together. And I had a lot of people who had maybe, 15, 20 people on their team, and they had promoted to director, and they were like, yeah, we've got this group chat and it's amazing. And I'm like, okay, that does not work for me. I can't be on a group chat with that many people. Like, there's no way, for one, I'd get anything done. And for two, that I'd ever be able to keep up with that. There's just no way. So you have to really set yourself up and have those systems in place. So as a superstar consultant, as you're getting ready to move forward into director, it's a great time to be able to sit back and say, okay, what are my systems? This is great for my team as my team is now, but what if my team explodes and I double my team next month? What if that happens? It very well possibly could happen, right? We're in hyper growth. It could very well happen, right? We never know where that next rock star is, where that next team member who suddenly just can get every single friend they know to join their team. And oh my gosh, they're growing in leaps and bounds. All of a sudden your business can explode. So by being able to have your systems in place, you're ready for that growth to happen. Making yourself available to your team. I do every single Tuesday is team day for me. And so I will do my shout outs to my team, recognition emails. Um, a lot of that is pulling reports and going through and seeing what everybody's doing. And then every single Tuesday, I go live in my support page on Facebook, my team support page or group support page. And I go live. And that's something that I've taken with me ever since I initially changed that mindset and started doing my YouTube videos. But I was like, okay, I need to actually make this for my team. And so it was just a commitment of, I'm going to show up here on Tuesdays. If you show up Tuesdays at 2 o'clock, you're going to be able to get training with me. Otherwise, it'll be recorded. You can watch it later after you get off work or on the weekend or whatever, right? And I will tell you that for a while, when I first started doing that, I don't even remember how long I've been doing it, but I know I've been doing it for a while. But I can tell you when I first started it, like nobody would get on. Same thing, right? When we post on Facebook or we ask people to have a party or we ask if somebody wants to join our team, right? Whatever. You can't give up. You have to continue to consistently show up and make yourself available. Now, again, that doesn't have to be in, oh, I need to be available 24/7, because again, that's not realistic. I don't care what anybody tells you. You should never, never, never get into the habit of thinking that you need to be working your business 24/7. Your business can be working for you 24/7 through YouTube or social media. You know, our website is open 24/7, right? We do not have to be. And a big piece of that, I have a lot of team members who get very excited and they dig in and they're like a rocket, right? They're laser focused. They know what they want and they'll start texting or messaging at like 2 a.m. And I will reach out and I'll be like, you need to set yourself some business hours because you can very easily lose yourself in trying to feel like you need to be everywhere for everybody all the time. Because one of the things when it comes to being a great leader is you have to be ready yourself. Every single Monday is I call it my personal development day. And my team knows this and they'll still message or text if they need something, right? But they know that I have to pour into myself to be able to give to them. I have to, as a leader, be constantly learning. And I'm always constantly watching YouTube videos of other leaders and figuring out how to do new things. And when we've got a training program that comes on, I'm on the call. I don't care if I've done the training 5 times. I'm going to get back on the call, but I'm going to show up. And your team members see when you show up and when you don't show up, because they're going to follow suit. And the same thing, if they see you being available or making yourself available 24/7, they're going to think, I have to be available 24/7. If I want to be a director, if I want to be a star director or a superstar director, obviously I'm going to have to be available 24/7 to answer everybody's questions and know where everything is. And it's just not possible. It's not possible. So creating that culture of serving your team members is going to be a huge help. Knowing that you, as a leader, are like the glue that holds your team together, right? You want your team to be able to look at you and say, oh my gosh, I know that they are always going to be here for me. They are always going to make sure that if something's coming up that they've posted in the group, or if I have a question and it's urgent, right? Which I don't think there's a whole lot of Scentsy emergencies, but yeah, I get it. Sometimes there's something that's like, oh my gosh, I need help right now. I get that. But knowing that they always have those knowledge pools that they can go to, right? The Facebook groups, making sure that they're keyed into everything, making sure they know how to pull reports from the workstation, making sure that they too are having systems and creating systems for their business, whatever that looks like. Making sure that as they make those promotions, that they are also making sure that they are retaining their own team, that they're pouring back into their team. Again, it's them seeing what you're doing and then duplicating that and kind of, making it themselves, right? It doesn't have to be your way is the only way, right? Everybody's business is different, but sharing the knowledge. So when I learn how to do something new, or if I'm having fun on Instagram or whatever, I will share it in my team page and I will show them how to do it. I will do a screen share and I'll pop it up there. If somebody wants to know how to do a report, oh, hey, let me just screenshot it on my phone and then I'll post it real quick for you. No problem. Or when I go live on Tuesdays, I'll be like, oh, hey, when I go on for the Tuesday live meeting, I'll talk about it then, or we'll go over it then, right? You have to be able to have those ways that you can pour into your team, but also have those ways that you're pouring into yourself, and know that it's okay if you need to have a day off. And that's the big thing too when it comes to communication. Like if I know I'm going to take a true day off, right? Which I very rarely do, but there are some days where like we went to the lake, right, for a day, and then I needed like a whole recovery day the next day. So like I went into my team page and I scheduled a post for like 6 in the morning, that morning that I was going to be off, and I was just a post, hey guys, we're going to the lake today, Jacqui's going fishing, so if you need something, reach out to each other, post here in the group, right? Feel free to visit the Bliss page, look at your workstation, check the news tab. Otherwise, deuces, and I will see you on Wednesday or whatever it was, right? That was my post. And did my team get upset because I wasn't available to answer a text or a phone call or whatever they needed? Because they had that communication there. And I have other frontline who have come to me and they're like, oh, I feel so bad because so and so had texted me and I didn't respond back. So they I mean, did they figure it out? Oh yeah, they actually ended up figuring it out. They did, didn't they? Again, our team can do this without us, but it works better with us, right? Same way like selling Scentsy, right? Scentsy can sell itself, but it sells better when we're in it. Same thing with our team. If we just kind of expand that, then we'll feel more comfortable in it. You are truly your only limit. Your mindset is huge. Please know this. And again, I've been through it all. I've experienced it all, the highs, the lows, everything in between. And I can tell you that if you find your tribe, the saying is true, right? The 5 people that you surround yourself with is who you start to become. Find the people that you want to be like and surround yourself with them. Learn from them. I can't even tell you how many superstar directors that are, not even close in our family tree, right? That I've reached out to because I've seen them do something really cute on Instagram or on Facebook, or I saw some flyer that they had posted that they did or shared on Pinterest or whatever it was, right? Where I've reached out and been like, hey, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I love that idea. Or I love how you did that. Can you point me in the direction of how you did that? Because I want to be able to try and do that. The Scentsy community is amazing. And those leaders who are taking the time to help and to show and to share what they're doing and how they're doing it, these are the people. This is the way, right? This is the way that you become great at being a leader with anything, but especially being a leader within Scentsy, because we have something that I guarantee you the rest of these, any other direct sales, network marketing, whatever you want to call it, that they don't have. We have some really amazing people in this Tracy's entire group, right? Our Scented Bliss family, but even beyond that. So surround yourself with those people who inspire you. Surround yourself with the ones who encourage you. Surround yourself with the ones who clap for you when you have a really good month. And if you're surrounding yourself with those people, you're going to start picking up the same habits that they are. And if you continue with those habits, and if you continue to pour into them, and you continue to pour into yourself, and you take a break or a mental day when you need one, there is no shame in it. There is no shame. And when you need help, when you need a handout, that's when you reach up. In the Scented Bliss family, we have some amazing individuals. And I'm not just saying directors or star directors or Tracy and Diane, our superstar directors, right? We've got really amazing essential consultants, certified consultants, lead consultants, star consultants, and superstar consultants. You don't have to be a certain title to be in someone's tribe. There are no limits to what we can do because we are stronger together. And we are all here to help each other. And if you are able to take that in and embrace that, and then help your team have that same understanding, they're going to be 100% in this with you. And they are going to be pushing and cheering you on. And I will tell you that when I was for a long, long time as a superstar consultant, right? For 3 years, I had the mindset of, oh my gosh, I want to be director so bad, right? And I had this feeling of like guilt almost because I was like, oh, does my team think that like I just want them because I need the GWV, right? I need to be able to promote. I feel really guilty. I feel like this is really selfish because I want it so bad. And I know that I want them to do good, but I just want to promote, right? And I got so stuck with that in my head for a long time. And that's part of the reason that I was a superstar consultant for so long, because I literally just could not figure out how to get over that speed bump in my mindset. And I don't even remember who it was or how I got the idea or where it even came from. But I was like, maybe if I start telling them what my goal is, because I'm always asking them, like, what's your goal? Who wants to get, who's going to get their 500 this month? Who's going to sponsor 2 more people? What have you? So why wasn't I doing that with my team? I want them to emulate what I'm doing, right? I want them to have the same mindset and act as if, right? Act as if. Why am I not doing that? So I did one month and I was like, okay, guys, this is the goal. We're going to hit 10,000 group wholesale volume this month. Who's in, right? And of course, at the beginning of the month, everybody's like, yeah, I'm in. Okay, awesome. So it was like on the 10th of the month or what have you, right? I had posted what our GWV was, whatever it was that month. We weren't close, let me tell you. The 15th came of the month. And of course, a lot of the scent and warmer of the month subscriptions have gone. People have at least maybe had a party or some sales during that time, right? And we had gotten pretty close to like, I want to say like 5, maybe even 6,000. Like we were doing really well. And I remember getting on and going live that Tuesday. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, this is where we are. Like this, oh my gosh, maybe this is the month. Spoiler alert, that was not the month. But let me tell you, it took me doing that every single month when I started opening up and really bringing everybody in with that mentality of we're all going to director, right? It's not just, oh, Jacqui's going to promote, Jacqui's going to be a director. Yay, Jacqui, right? That wasn't what the mindset was within my team. It was, we're all going because if I can do this, I guarantee that you guys can do this because I've told my team and they know because I share, I'm an open door. I am not number 1 in sales. I am really good at sponsoring. I am really good at training and helping others. Sales has never been like, I'm never going to be, well, I can't say that, right? I'm never going to be. Okay. I haven't yet ever been that person to have that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $7,000 month, right? It's just, it hasn't happened yet. But I wanted to show my team that you don't have to have all of that to be able to succeed. So when we started doing things as a group, when I started opening up the doors and being like, this is where we are, this is how many people we have on our team, and this is where we are in group wholesale volume. And as I continued that, month after month after month, and showing and sharing and showing and sharing. And oh, look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Before I knew it, I was getting a text from Tracy on like the 25th or something. It was towards the end of the month, that month that I hit. And I remember getting a text from her and her going, "Oh my gosh, you're so close to director numbers." Wait, what? I had to stop and pick up my phone and like look at my workstation, like, wait, what? Because I was so at that point, I was just so in tune of just helping my team. This is it. We're all going to promote. Come on, guys, let's do it. That I wasn't even focusing on the fact that I was so close to getting to director. And lo and behold, what happened? My team all pulled together. We all rallied and I brought them into my excitement. You guys, this is so exciting. We're going to make it happen. We're going to be a team. This is amazing. What should the team name be? How are we going to do this? Right? When I brought everybody in and I shared my passion and I shared my excitement, it was like wildfire. And that's how I promoted to director. And then what did I do? Well, I had to figure it out, but with help from Tracy, of course, right? And all of our other amazing directors and leaders. But once I did that, and I was like, this is the way. I can't hide the numbers because I need people to be in this with me. And if they're not in this with me, that's fine. If they're just a hobbyist or, they aren't really interested in building a business or what have you, that's fine. But maybe they will someday. I was the hobbyist. For a long time, I was a hobbyist. Never in a million years would have guessed that I would be sitting here right now doing this right now. So you never know what can inspire another team member. So continue to pour in, open up the doors a little bit, let people into your world, let them see how you're doing things. Because it was then when I started doing that, that was like, that was the point to where like the circle closed for my team. It was like, oh, now we get it. And ever since, that has been the same culture that I've had with my team. Same culture. I have kept that same culture ever since. And I forever will, because I want my team to see what it takes to get to those levels and what it takes to give yourself and serve your team, because I want them to do the same thing. And I will tell you that we have a really supportive team, a really great group of men and women who are just all in. They're all in. And it's because that culture has been created of we're in this together. It's not just Jacqui up there at the top, right? We're all going to the top, because that's what I tell my team every week. We're all going to the top. We're all going to be superstar directors in my book. All 300 and whatever of them, right? We're all going to do it. Because why? Because we can, first of all. And second of all, if we want it, we can make it happen. And if we do all of these things month after month after month, we're going to make it happen and we're going to be there. I hope this has been helpful. I didn't want to, as a superstar consultant, you have a pretty good feel of the business for sales, for parties. Now, doing the logistical things of, how do I, do the Bisley party, and how do I start doing pirate ship? Like all those little things are just logistics, right? It really is not only because it is like the biggest, like we talked about, the biggest jump in group wholesale volume on the commission, on the compensation plan, sorry. But it's also the biggest jump in that mindset shift of we're all in this together. This isn't about me or you or you or you or you. It's about all of us together, working hard towards the same goal. We are surrounding ourselves with like-minded people. And when we do that, we all rise. It's truly a mindset shift. And doing that consistently and showing your team how to do that with their team members that they're sponsoring. And it will happen. like I said, I hope this has helped. Feel free to always reach out to me if you've got questions, to your sponsor, to your upline director or STAR director, because we've got lots of those now. And of course, Tracy and Diane are always there for us. But just know that you're in a group with a lot of great people. And we're all here to see each other all get to the place to where we want to be. So all you have to do is ask. When you have a question, when you need help, if you're having a bad day, I tell my team this a lot, and they know it by now. If you're having a bad day and you need to pick me up, I tell them, just post in the group. It's not a good day. And then I watch as other people come on and be like, you can do this. You've got this. It's okay, right? And everybody's jumping in because we all have bad days, just like we all have good days. We just have to be able to shift that mind into, we're all going to do this together. And that's what we've got. All right.